Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I got a bunch of jerseys out recently for another video, for an unboxing, and the jerseys are still here, so I thought why not use all these jerseys to make another video. And today I want to talk about all 32 teams and their start to the season. One team has played 7 games, 2 have played 11 games, so we do have a sample size that we can base a judgment on how the start of the season went for all 32 teams. I will wear 32 jerseys for this video, and this jersey, the Seattle Road jersey, is the only one that's not fitting in the series of jerseys I will wear in this video. So let's get it on, talk about all 32 teams wearing 32 jerseys. Alright, ready? Let's go. Okay, the Seattle Kraken. They started off way better than last year. Their record now is 4-4-2, so they are at 500. Very competitive looking this year, much better than last year. I think the Kraken have made their way into respectability. Let's see if they can keep it up. I guess, yeah, they should be a team that's around 500, so way better than last season. And right now they're doing that without their top 2 goaltenders. Martin Jones had to jump in and take over the reins in the net for the Kraken. They improve, and it's fun to watch them. Next up, the New York Rangers, and now jersey-wise you will know where this trip will go. Yeah, we're going reverse retro. Anyway, the Rangers started off with 5-3-2, looked very good at times, looked a little pedestrian at times. Shesterkin is right now not the world eater he was last year. And their backup, Jaroslav Halak, let's see if he stays the backup in New York for the rest of the season. But I have no doubt that the Rangers will have a very strong season and be a pretty sure pick for the playoffs. Artemi Panarin, very much fun to watch. Very good until this point. And yeah, the Rangers are clicking. Next up, Chicago, the Blackhawks. And now you can see this is in no particular order. Just a random how the jerseys are lying right in front of me. The Blackhawks way better than expected right now at 4-3-2. Seems like they had definitely had a better start to the season than expected. Let's see how this turns out, especially along the trade deadline, when I expect the Blackhawks to make a lot of moves to get a lot younger and continuing their rebuild. Their goaltending, yeah, Stalock is good. Surprisingly good. Mrazek is hurt again, so yeah, what can you do? But the Blackhawks are definitely a positive surprise that far in the season. Talking about positive surprises, here are the Philadelphia Flyers. Started 5-2-1. I don't know what John Tortorella has done to these players. Maybe he's given them a system they can work with a lot better. Last year was a nightmare. This year could be a dream. Maybe even into the playoffs. I doubt that. But at least the Flyers are relevant again. They're making a lot of fun. Maybe bad chances of going after Connor Bedard. But right now the Flyers look very, very good. And I think most likely thanks to John Tortorella. And if you say Philadelphia, you also have to say Pittsburgh, yeah. The Penguins had a very good start, went to 4-0-1. Now they are 4-4-1, so they lost 4 in a row in Western Canada and in Seattle. This was quite a surprise. The Penguins looked very strong at the beginning. Now maybe they're trending in the mediocre direction. Let's see if Crosby especially can turn this around. He didn't have his best games in Western Canada. And yeah, maybe the Penguins are finally starting to feel the effects of age of their most important core players. And this will not get better in the next years. Maybe this year is the Penguins' last chance to really compete in the playoffs for a cup maybe. I'm not sure. I guess no, but you never know with Crosby. However, the Penguins need to make some changes to turn around the season after this 0-4 road trip in the West. Next up, St. Louis. The Blues had a very good start, went 3-0. Then they lost 5 in a row. This is worrying. Jordan Binnington does not look like playoff Jordan Binnington. He looks like regular season Jordan Binnington. And this can be a real problem for the Blues. The team is not clicking right now. They have problems of scoring, they have problems with goaltending. I don't know if this team will go anywhere. They have to make some adjustments, definitely. Let's see if Craig Berube, he coached them to a Stanley Cup back in 2019, if he is still the right guy for this team. The Winnipeg Jets started 5-3-1. Very good games, much more competitive than last year, and 37. Connor Hellebuyck is back. They lost their last game against Vegas, but they should have lost it by a very great margin. In the end, they lost it in overtime. Connor Hellebuyck is back. His game looks like being back to Vezina level. He can carry a team on his back. Let's see if they score enough. But Scheifele looked good. Ehlers is down again with injury. Let's see what happens there. Their depth will be tested quite a lot, but the Jets right now look very good, maybe even playoff good. Next up, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the only team in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, the only team in the East. That's right now below 500. They are 3-7. Many people picked them to make the playoffs, including yours truly, but it seems like it's just not fitting with Johnny Gaudreau. Yeah, he has 5 goals. He has, I think it's 8 points. In the last game against New Jersey, I saw this one live on my television. They really looked bad. It stunk. The Devils were supreme. They were so supreme. Over the Blue Jackets, these guys really do have a problem. It doesn't work at the front. It doesn't work at the back. It doesn't work in goal. Maybe coaching change is the easy alternative, but I think even this will not solve the hole the Jackets dug themselves in right now. They really have a problem. The Anaheim Ducks, they are still in a rebuild. Starting off 2-6, won their first game, won at the day of recording their last game against the Maple Leafs. How did they do that? I think it was not you can't praise the Ducks for that as much as you have to blame the Leafs for blowing this game. Anyway, the Ducks, Jamie Drysdale at the day of recording will be out for quite some time and they will feel this loss. They're in Bedard. They are already in Connor Bedard watch. The Ducks, I expected them way better. Some action is missing. Zegras is doing okay, The rest, what can you say? Not that much to cheer about now for Ducks fans. The New York Islanders starting off 5-4. So, close to 500 in a very competitive Metro division. This division will be very close from top to bottom, I think, throughout the whole season. Maybe the Islanders can pull off one upset or the other. Maybe make it into the playoffs. This is so wide open and so hard to tell. But it does not look like that the loss of Barry Trotz, or the firing of Barry Trotz, digged this team into a big hole. Au contraire, they look better than last year. More goals, more offensive fun. Let's see what happens. I'm in a good mood seeing the Islanders. The Arizona Coyotes, they started out 2-5-1, and I think many people think they won 2 more games than they should have. Their play at ASU, funny arena, very small, but I think the atmosphere there can get different, but fans have to buy into that. And for the fans doing that, the team has to play a little better. They're in the rebuild, they're definitely in Bedard watch, and they are the trash dump for bad contracts of the whole league right now. But I think they will be able to turn it around with some more good draft picks in years to come. And let's see what happens to their arena plans. Tempe is about to vote if they build the arena or not. Let's see what happens there. But I think the Coyotes will have some more dry time to fill before they get relevant again. Right now, sorry. More chance to talk about arenas and jerseys about Arizona than about their product on the ice. Up next, Minnesota. They are 4-4-1, though they started at 500 over the first 9 games. And I didn't expect that. After the first few games, they were clearly below 500. Now they came back Fleury started turning it around, being very good the last games. Also when they lost some of them, I saw their game at Boston when Fleury was very good. Let's see what happens. Can he keep that up over the whole season? And their backup, Gustafsson, let's see what happens with him. But you can clearly feel that if this team loses Kirill Kaprizov, there's nothing behind him. He is the one that's pulling the team together with Zuccarello. But I think without Kaprizov, the Wild would be nothing. I think they could be in trouble making the playoffs. Up next is Calgary, the only team that has played only 7 games so far this season. And yeah, it's still early, but you can see the Flames play 7. 2 other teams playing 11 games, already an imbalance in schedule. The Flames will have to make up. There were games they looked fantastic, there were games they looked good, but not world beaters. Nazem Kadri already adapted very good to the Calgary Flames. Way better than Jonathan Huberdeau. He will have to continue finding the chemistry and the connection to the team, and they need that. If they want to compete for the top spot in the Pacific with Edmonton and Vegas, as it looks right now, the Flames need more production from Huberdeau, but I think this will come. The Flames are in a very good way. The Nashville Predators started the season in Prague. They won both their games there against the San Jose Sharks. Since coming back to North America, they are 1-5-1. Okay, so the games against San Jose were not an indicator how the season could go. I think the Preds, their defense is good. Their goaltending, Saros had some weaker games, but it's not bad. But they're not scoring enough. The Preds need their star players, especially Philip Forsberg, to step forward and go. Without that, they will not go anywhere in a Central Division that might not be the strongest this year, but at the top, this can get close. And there are some really good teams that are not at their best right now. And the Preds, they have to be better. All I can say about them. The Edmonton Oilers, they started 6-3. I think they won now 4 in a row, and they've done it in convincing fashion. McDavid is rolling, Draisaitl is rolling. Good production by Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Evander Kane drops off a little. Let's see how this turns out. But I'm also very impressed by Stuart Skinner. Who's that? Yeah, their goaltender. They signed Jack Campbell for big money, and Skinner outplayed him so far. Campbell will bounce back, I'm pretty sure about that. And their defense is also better than expected. I think the Oilers are in a very good way to stay in the hunt for the top spot in the Pacific for the whole season. That brings us to the Hartford Whalers, to the Carolina Hurricanes. Starting off 6-2-1 the season, looking good. Not as supreme as some might have expected them. But yeah, of course, some new players. They're missing Tony DeAngelo and his production from the blue line. The rest of the team, looks good, but they have room to improve. Especially in goal, Frederik Andersen, not his best start of the season, but I think he will bounce back. The Canes, top spot in the Metro right now, and I would not be surprised if they keep that spot until the end of the regular season. Next up, the Quebec Nordiques or the Colorado Avalanche. Stanley Cup hangovers seem to be real. They started off 4-4-1 with this team at 500. Yeah, they really played a lot of hockey last season, and I have no doubt the Avalanche will turn this around and end clearly way above 500. Most likely winning the division. Let's see about that. But yeah, you can feel it that this team is not the same as last year. They are missing Landeskog due to injury, and they lost Nazem Kadri, and now you can feel how important he was for this team. How the second line center spot that is now in flux. Who has it right now? I don't know. But they're missing Nazem Kadri and his production that he could bring to the game when the others were off a little bit. Their goaltending, Georgiev seems pretty good. Francouz has some problems. Let's see how this turns out, but I have no doubt the Avalanche will go back to the playoffs and do something in these playoffs. Up to the playoffs, the fans might have to suffer a little bit, but not too much. The Avalanche, with this team, must make it. You must make the playoffs. No way around that. Up next, the Dallas Stars. They started 5-3-1, and Jason Robertson, who needs training camp? This is so overrated, he said. And he proved that he was right. Took a while for him to sign his contract, and after seeing the numbers, what was it, 4 years, 7.5 per season? What take them so long? Imagine he had training camp, and his chemistry with Roope Hintz and Joe Pavelski would be maybe even better. What could they do? This line is fantastic. But the rest of the team, especially Mr. 14, Jamie Benn, he is really not good. Tyler Seguin, he got it back a little, but the Stars already have a problem with Jamie Benn and his contract, and this will not improve in years to come, because his contract is, I think, still running until 2025, maybe even 26. Let's see. Anyway, the Stars, very positive surprise in how they played this season. Let's see how this turns out when Jake Ottinger is now out for some time. Don't know how long. If Wedgwood can keep the four together, we will see. But as mentioned, the Dallas Stars, positive surprise this year so far. Up next, the Florida Panthers. The biggest question was, would Matthew Tkachuk fit right in out of the gate? The answer, yes. Very good chemistry already with Sasha Barkov. I have no doubt the Florida Panthers will end in the playoff spot. They played pretty good. Although without Ekblad now, their defensive depth will be tested. And they lost Weegar in the offseason, traded him to Calgary. They lost now Ekblad on LTIR. Let's see how this turns out. Now they do have some cap space, maybe to bring in another defenseman during the season or at the deadline. And I think they will need that, because their defense looked not that strong. Their offensive game, supreme, fantastic, will score a lot of goals, and it will be a lot of fun watching them. But their D, and this will also affect their goaltending, will not be as good. And we saw that already. But anyway, the Panthers, for me, still a safe pick for the playoffs, and let's see what happens then. Matthew Tkachuk fit in pretty good. The San Jose Sharks, favorite team of my mate Nick Twisted Wrister. Hey Nick, how you doing? They started off poor. Lost both games against Nashville and Prague, and since then they didn't get it back as well. They are 3-6 since coming back to North America, so 3-8 altogether. One bright spot is, surprisingly, Erik Karlsson looked good for his age. Definitely. Not the Erik Karlsson that we knew from Ottawa, who won the Norris Trophy, of course. No, he didn't play in goal. He won a Norris Trophy. But Mike Rea already said that they are open for business for almost everybody. And let's see how this team looks after the trade deadline. I think this team could look very, very young. And they are already watching for Connor Bedard. And they do need Connor Bedard, I think, more than any other team. The San Jose Sharks, who were very good, very successful for a very long time, but they are paying the price now by not having as many good young players. And then I'm not even talking about franchise players. I'm talking about good young players. There is nobody there in San Jose. Let's see how this turns out. The rebuild, I think, will be on. Oh yeah, the Vancouver Canucks. What a mixed bag. They looked so bad over their first games. They had 2-goal, 3-goal leads. They blew everything. Then they go to Seattle and win their first game, and then they win over Pittsburgh, and now they are 2-5 and 2-5-2. Suddenly, not everything is not bad anymore. I have no idea. I have no idea what to say about the Vancouver Canucks. On the one day, you can get a brilliant team that looks very good and crushes Pittsburgh. On the other hand, on the other day, you can get a team that's blowing a 3-goal lead again. I have no idea. I think Bruce Boudreau must feel the same. What can he do? What's happening? I wouldn't rule the Canucks out to go on a run to make the playoffs, but I would also not rule them out of sucking all year and going for Connor Bedard. I have no idea what to say about the Vancouver Canucks. The Vegas Golden Knights start at 8-2. Look very good. The question is, can they keep it up? I'm not sure. Adin Hill, as a goaltender right now, has some very, very good games, yeah. But can he keep it up over the whole season? Logan Thompson is a rookie. Right now, he would win the Calder Trophy, definitely. Very, very good season up to this point. But yeah, he's a rookie. Can he keep it up is the big question. And will Jack Eichel stay the good Jack Eichel or fall back into old habits? Like talking bad about the fans, talking bad about other teams, and not playing very good? Mixed bag. I think, for me, it's a little bit of a surprise that they started that good, but they're a good team. Let's see if they can keep it up. I think so. Yes, but yeah, remains to be seen. Vegas will be fun to watch anyway, if they do good or if they do bad. Up next, the Washington Capitals started the season 5-4-1. Lost in extra time to the Carolina Hurricanes yesterday at the day of recording. Were not bad. But, yeah, the Capitals. I think they really start feeling the effects of age right now. Ovechkin, yeah, okay, doesn't have as many goals as you would like to see. I think he has 5 right now in 10 games. Still a very good pace, but not a 50-goal pace. And Ovechkin will go on slumps from time to time. Defensively, he didn't look very good. Yeah, but it's Ovechkin. Who cares? He scores. Who cares? They are missing Nicklas Backstrom. And John Carlson was out last game. Darcy Kemper looks very good in goal. Charlie Lindgren as well. But although they have very good goaltending right now, they're not winning the games. I think they're scoring. Yeah, they relied too much. They're relying too much on the old guys, and this is what happens. The Capitals, maybe a playoff team this year, maybe not. I have no idea. But they are one of the candidates for a rebuild in a not that distant future. Because Ovechkin, yeah, he will catch Gordie Howe this season in regards of goal scoring. He might catch Wayne Gretzky or not, depends on how this team setup will be in the years to come. I think he will, but we'll see. Anyway, I think the Capitals are right now a mediocre team. Maybe they make the playoffs, maybe not. They are not a contender anymore. And it is quite a difference slipping from a 50 jersey Washington into the 54 of Detroit. The size, it definitely is a difference. Anyway, the Detroit Red Wings. Are they out of their rebuild or not? Right now they are 4-3-2. Didn't look that good last night. They were crushed by the Buffalo Sabres. We'll see. The goaltending, Ville Husso looked very good. Nedeljkovic, maybe. Tyler Bertuzzi out with injury. They definitely feel that. And I think they started not as good as Steve Yzerman would have expected or planned. They could end up again being sellers at the deadline and push their plans to make the playoffs back for another year. Not the best start for the Detroit Red Wings. The LA Kings are one of the teams that's played 11 games already. They are 6-5. Again, a mixed bag. They had some games where they looked fantastic. They had some games absolutely to forget. I think the most bright and most shiny spot this year, if you haven't watched the Kings game, do it just to watch Gabe Vilardi. Finally, he broke through. Finally. Had so much injury problems, so much back problems in the last years. Now he's there and he is what was advertised in this draft year, a dynamic scoring forward. Fantastic. The rest of the team, yeah, okay, they have definitely goaltending problems. Cal Peterson looked really bad at times, and Jonathan Quick, the elderly gentleman, is he forced again to be the clear-cut number one in the Kings goal? It's definitely not planned. They expected Peterson to be able to take over and gave him the contract they gave him because of that. Right now, this does not look that good. I think the Kings should be able to make the playoffs and end up in the top 4 of the Pacific, but let's see what happens. Anyway, it's a lot of fun to watch Kings games because you never know what you will get. One of the most positive surprises this year so far, the New Jersey Devils. They are at 6-3 right now, second in the Metropolitan, and damn, this team looked good. Okay, it was against Columbus. I saw this game fully on television. They beat them 7-1 and were supreme in all periods over this poor Columbus team. The Devils really rocked them. Wow. They are going to Western Canada next. Let's see what happens there. But I'm pretty positive the Devils that were under a lot of pressure because their rebuild was long enough. They have to perform this year. They have to. And they did. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier looked fantastic. Sharon Govich, very good. Jesper Bratt, wow. And finally, Vitek Vanecek gave them the goaltending they needed. The Devils, if they keep playing like that, they should make the playoffs. And it would be a lot of fun seeing them. Seeing a team coming out of a rebuild and succeeding, maybe even building it up towards the Stanley Cup. Let's see about that. But the Devils, very positive surprise on a very good progress. Talking about surprises, how about those Boston Bruins? They started off 8-1, first in the NHL right now. I did not see that coming. With the elderly gentleman in Boston, Bergeron 37, Krejci, who came back seamlessly from playing 1 year in the Czech Republic, or in Czechia, as you want to call it. This was really a surprise for me. Now Krejci, who had beautiful chemistry with David Pastrnak and Pavel Zacha, all three are from Czechia, Czech Republic. This is a very good line. Now Krejci is out with injury. Let's see how this will affect them. But I'm very surprised that they did that without McAvoy all the time and without Marchand most of the time. But the Bruins beat only 2 teams that can be seen as very good teams right now. They beat Florida and they beat Dallas. The rest of their victories, they have Washington in there, mediocre, Arizona, bad. Then they lost to Ottawa, Anaheim, bad, Minnesota, not good, Detroit, Columbus, very bad. Let's see if the Bruins can keep it up. The next games are Pittsburgh, Rangers, Toronto, St. Louis, Calgary, Buffalo. I think we will see a drop from the Bruins. I do not think that they can keep that up. No chance, even if when McAvoy comes back. They are still missing depth scoring and they relying heavily on 2 lines. Let's see how the other guys do, and they don't have enough scoring from the back end. The goaltending helps them right now. I do not see the Bruins cruising to the title of the Atlantic Division. No. The Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, Stanley Cup hangovers are for real, as we see with Colorado now, but also the toll that it takes going to a Stanley Cup final 3 years in a row. We see that now with Tampa. They're 5-4 and they do not look like Tampa. They lost depth again in the offseason. Yeah, the cap, this is how it works. And their star players, except Steven Stamkos, did not look as they looked in recent years. Maybe the window of the Lightning is about to close. We'll see, but I think it's absolutely possible. No doubt this team will be a playoff team. Whatever they do thereafter remains to be seen. But I think the Lightning had their time. They won 2 Stanley Cups. I think we will not see a dynasty based on what I see from the Lightning right now. So 4 more teams to go. Let's start off with the Montreal Canadiens. They picked Juraj Slafkovsky at number 1, what was quite a surprise. He turned out to be quite good, and he, up till this point, scored a lot more than Shane Wright, who I think has no points to this point. Speculation. Anyway, the Canadians look way better than expected. They started 5-4, above 500. The chemistry between Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield is so good. These two guys together, this will be so much fun watching them in years to come for the Montreal Canadiens. Slavkovsky as the third man on this line, it's not that right now, but I think this could come to get the physical aspect into this line. The Canadiens, maybe not a playoff team this year, but way better than the nightmarish season they had last year. And as mentioned, they will be a lot of fun to watch in years to come. You almost made it, 3 more teams to come. Let's start off with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And about this team, I think we could talk about this team for hours. Last year in the playoffs, it looked like the years before, that they were afraid of winning. Does this now already start in the regular season? Are the Leafs already afraid of winning? It's absolutely possible. Matthews didn't look Matthews-like in this year up to now. Marner made some unexplainable mistakes. Very bad defensively. Although he was tested as a defenseman in the preseason. Fascinating. Blowing leads, not being able to hold on, not being able to seal games away as teams, real good teams, can do. You're down by 2 against Boston at this time, or against Vegas. Forget about it. You will not come back. Against Toronto, you're down by 3. Just let's play. Anaheim came back from 3-1 down against the Leafs in the third period. And they could have won this game in regulation. Anyway, the Leafs. I think Steve Dangle's blood pressure could become a real problem this season. Let's see if he survives. I hope so. Steve is a great guy. But the Leafs, mixed bag, not as good as last year. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty disappointed. Not only by Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews, but also by the rest of the team for not getting it together. They had so many chances. This could be about the job not only of Sheldon Keefe, but also of Kyle Dubas. The Buffalo Sabres. They started 6-3. Very pleasant surprise. And not only that, also the Sabres, they are so fun to watch. Scoring from all over the place. Not only Thompson, Skinner and Tuck. Peterka gets his share. Jack Quinn got his first goal now. Middlestat, Rasmus Asplund, the defense around Rasmus Dahlin. Owen Power has could improve offensively, The rest of the team looked absolutely great. And this feels different than the good starts they had maybe in 2018 or 2017. This feels different. This team now really is a team. And it's so good to see. And I'm so happy for Buffalo and for the Buffalo fan base. Come on, guys, fill up the arena. You can do that. This team deserves it. It's fun to watch. And this feels, as mentioned, this feels different. This feels for real. Buffalo could be a playoff contender this year. I hope they make it. So, finally, last but not least, let's talk about my favorite team, the Ottawa Senators, who started off 4-4. Looked very good at times, looked not that good at other times. I think they're already missing Josh Norris, and he will be, unfortunately, out for quite a while. A team without its first-line center. Let's see. The other guys will have to jump in. They do have enough very talented, very good young players to fill this hole, to fill this void. Let's see who jumps up. The defense looks okay. Their goaltending, they're missing Cam Talbot. Stability factor in the back end. He should be back, not that far away. I think the Senators, they started way better than last year, where I think they were 1-8 or 1-10 to start the season. The season was over mid-November with this record. Right now they are at 500. And they had very good runs in the last 3 years. In the second half of the season, they were always good. If they can keep it up, around 500, maybe a little above, until the midpoint of the season. I think the Senators can make the playoffs. It would be so good to see this young team coming out of a rebuild and building like the New Jersey Devils towards the Stanley Cup. Could we see a Eastern Conference final, Ottawa against New Jersey this year? Maybe not. In 3 years, that's absolutely possible. The Senators are on a good way. I really hope they can keep it up. Go Sens. All right, that's it for this one. Who stick to the end? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And let me know in the comment section below, what's your team and what do you think about the start of the season of this team? Thanks again. Have a good time. Goodbye.